അറിയാം ഈ ഒരു ചോദ്യപേപ്പർ 2022 കഴിഞ്ഞ HSA ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൻ്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പേപ്പറാണ്. നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാകുമെന്ന് അറിയാം. എങ്കിൽ കൂടി നമ്മൾ ഫൈനൽ ടച്ച് എന്ന നിലയ്ക്ക് നമ്മളെ പ്രീവിയസ് ഇയർ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പേപ്പർ ഒന്ന് പരിചയപ്പെടാം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പേപ്പറിൻ്റെ ഒരു മാതൃക എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നും പരിചയപ്പെടാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് വീഡിയോ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ നമുക്ക് നേരെ വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് പോവാം. സോ ആദ്യത്തെ ചോദ്യം, വിച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ ഫോളോയിങ് ഹിസ്റ്റോറിക് നോവൽ ആർ നോട്ട് റിട്ടൺ ബൈ സർദാർ KM പണിക്കർ? നമുക്ക് രാമരാജ ബഹദൂർ, മാർത്താണ്ഡവർമ്മ. ഓപ്ഷൻ ഡി ആണ് ഉത്തരം. ദ പാത്ത് ഓഫ് ഫാദർ ബിലീഫ് ഈസ് അസോസിയേറ്റഡ് വിത്ത്. വിച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ ഫോളോയിങ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് റിഗാർഡിംഗ് സ്വദേശാഭിമാനി രാമകൃഷ്ണ പിള്ളൈ ഈസ് ഓർ ആർ കറക്റ്റ്? 1 and 2. 1. Ramakrishna Pillai became the editor of Kerala Panchika newspaper in 1901, and Ramakrishna Pillai was arrested and exiled from Travancore in 1910. Consider the following pairs of authors and their works. So, option A ആണ് പറയുന്നത്. ഒന്ന് പാർവതി നെന്മണി മംഗലം പുനർജന്മം. നമ്പർ 2 അന്നാചാണ്ടി കാലപ്പകർച്ചകൾ. What is the correct chronological order of the following events? പാലിയം സത്യാഗ്രഹ, ഗുരുവായൂർ സത്യാഗ്രഹ, കൂത്തൻകുളം സത്യാഗ്രഹ, മലയാളി മെമ്മോറിയൽ. ഓപ്ഷൻ ബി, ഫസ്റ്റ് മലയാളി മെമ്മോറിയൽ, then ഗുരുവായൂർ സത്യാഗ്രഹ, after that കൂടംകുളം സത്യാഗ്രഹം, and finally number 1 പാലിയം സത്യാഗ്രഹം. So this can be explained again, like first Malayali Memorial, second Guruvayur Satyagraha, third Kudangulam, and last Paliyam. Parliament cannot amend the provisions which form the basic structure of the Constitution. This was ruled by the Supreme Court in Keshavananda Bharati case. The first protocol to ban the emissions of chlorofluorocarbons in the atmosphere was made in the first protocol to ban the emissions of chlorofluorocarbons, Montreal. Parag, which was seen in the news recently, is a portal associated with student learning assessment. The concept of fundamental duties in the Constitution of India was taken from which country? USSR. Who can remove the president and members of Public Service Commission from the post? President. In which year the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act came into force? 2006. The first country which legally allows its consumers to cryptocurrency? El Salvador. El Salvador. Which of the following constitutional amendments provided for the right education? 86th Amendment. Which of the following is not a part of the preamble of Indian Constitution? Federalism. Socialism, democracy, secularism, these all are the part of preamble, but federalism is not included. Employment guarantee scheme was first introduced in which of the following states? Which of the following cannot be considered as an aim of CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation? So option D, recording the scores obtained by learners in their annual examination. Next, the question is in connection with psychology. Some of the famous learning theories and its propounders are given below. Match them appropriately. So, Jean Piaget, Vygotsky, Kohler, Thorndike. So, Jean Piaget, cognitive development theory. Vygotsky, social cultural theory. Kohler, insight theory. Thorndike trial and error theory. Combination of both face-to-face and traditional classroom method with e-learning is used to create hybrid approach to learning. Which type of learning is referred here? Blended learning. Which of the statement is not correct about pedagogic analysis? Evaluation is not a part of pedagogic analysis. Which of the skills can be called a productive skill? Speaking and writing. According to Bharata, rasa is the result of vibhava, anubhava, vepichari bhava combining to form sthayi bhavas.
Where does most of the action in the novel The Bluest Eye taken place? Lorraine, Ohio. What do baby Kochama and Kochu Maria have in common? They both hate the twins. They both live sedentary lives and watch television. They have both stolen jewels from the family safe. They are both Mamachi's daughters.
So they both live in sedentary life and watch television. By profession, the protagonist of Roofs and Shadow, Indu is journalist, right? Who is Santiago's hero? Gio Di Maggio. With whom does Napoleon play cards at the end of the novel Animal Farm? Mr. Pilkington. What is the name of the village near Wuthering Heights? Gummerton. Foster says that when the love ends, day starts. Tolerance. They say on the Rule of the Road by A.J. Gardiner is taken from the anthology Leaves in the Wind. The Trumpet Club was published in February 11, 1710. Bacon says that to spend too much of time for studies is sloth. What is Irkalas, Australian tribe? The poem Africa is a dramatic monologue. The most important literary device employed in the poem. This is a photograph of me. Enjambment. The sills in the House of Thousand Doors are cut in bronze. Some of the idioms of the poem, telephone conversation, point out the general geography of London. How many stanzas does the poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death have? Six stanzas. So just check it out. Even the number of stanzas were asked in the previous questions. So it's really, tough time. Like we have to prepare and ready to prepare for everything. How many speakers are there in the poem Home Burial? Two speakers. When was the poem Obituary published? Again, the year of publication, 1971. So, two questions we have seen so far. In which collection was The Night of the Scorpion published? Collection, exact name, collections of like poetry. I think it is second or third time here. In which poem? In which poem, where the mind is without fear, reason is compared here? In the poem, where the mind is without fear, reason is compared to a clear stream. The poem Daddy was written on October 12, 1962. Oh my God. 1962. So the year based question is repeating continuously. The poem A Prayer for My Daughter by Yeats addressed to Dash his daughter, Anne, his daughter, right? According to Bertrand Russell, Dash is essential to the proper fulfillment of the teacher's functions. Intellectual independence. According to Radhakrishnan, the humanity is important because it teaches us about our own nature. Dash is the tuning point of incidents. Denouement. According to Wordsworth, dash is not essential to poetry. Meter. The touchstone method is modified method of addition, which cannot, sorry, Which cantos of Dante's Inferno are referred in the essay Tradition and the Individual Talent? Which cantos of Dante's Inferno are referred to in the essay Tradition and Individual Talents?
When I check the answer, actually it shows that only Canto 15. So if there is any any confusion, or if you know the correct answer, please comment below. Ode to Skylark consists of dash stanza. Again, stanza based question. 21. Name the Shakespearean critic who argues that Macbeth begins by unleashing the terrible threat of destructive maternal power and demonstrate the helplessness of its central male figure before that power. Name the Shakespearean critic who argues that Macbeth begins by unleashing the terrible threat of destructive maternal power and demonstrate the helplessness of its central male figure before the power. Janet Adelman.
The School for Scandal. The School for Scandal was first published. The School for Scandal was first performed in London at Drury Lane on 8th May 1777. Upon his return to Hertfordshire, whose death does Jack announce to Miss Prism and Dr. Josible? Ernest. Higgins claims that English is the language of Shakespeare, Milton, and Bible. What does Nora bring into the cottage at the beginning? The bundle of clothes, which is not one of Estragon's characteristics. Egotistical. His weakness is the poor memory, sadistic. What is the name of the restaurant where Happy and Biff take Willie? Frank's Chop House. For what does Tom pay membership dues with the money earmarked for the electricity bill? The Union Merchant Seaman. Nagamandala is based on two folk stories which Karnad heard from his guru, A.K. Ramanujan. Okay. Elaine Showalter's prime area of research was hysteria and madness in women. Fill in the blank with an appropriate position. Salini boasted of her accomplishments. Point out the noun clause in the sentence. That Catherine will succeed in that Catherine will succeed is certain. That Catherine will succeed. Noun clause. Insert the correct tense of the verb in the following sentence. So, is and have been. Choose the most appropriate phrasal verb. Rose is always busy. She is always on the run. Fill in the blank with the appropriate conjunction. Give me to drink, else I shall die of the thirst. In direct speech, the young sparrow said, Mother, what is that queer object? The young sparrow asked its mother what that queer object was. Rewrite the following sentences so that the verb will be in active voice. Rose was struck by his singular appearance. His singular appearance struck Rose. Choose appropriate question tag for the sentence. Please open the door. Please open the window. Will you? Change the following sentence into positive degree. It is easier to preach than to practice. It is not easy to practice as to preach. Which expression ensure that the customer that he is satisfied with the solution company. For this question, this answer is not given here. Anyway, if you know the correct answer, you can share down. Okay, question number 70. The phonetic transcription of the word question is question. Okay. The letter graphemes are called digraphs. Sorry, two letter graphemes are called digraphs. Two letter graphemes are called digraphs. What are the functional morphemes in the following sentence? The, on, a, and, them, of. What is the basic lexical relation between the following pair of words? Table, furniture. So homophony, hyphonymy, antonym, synonym. So hyphonymy, because table, furniture, that is both connected, right? Which of the following sentence describe polysemy in the best way? Yes, I love those. I ate a whole bowl. Word of one type, usually a noun, is a word of one type is reduced to form another word of different type is called back formation. How do you group the following languages into pair which are closely related to from historical point of view? Romanian, Czech, Dutch, French, Gaelic, German, Russia, Welsh. Romanian and Welsh, Czech and Russian, Dutch and German, Gaelic and Welsh. The final sound of laugh and cough and the initial sound of photo are example of labiodentals. Full laugh, cough. The terms related to titular ranking of the nobility like Duke, Marquis, Viscount, Baron are direct borrowing words from. Many of the common English words have two or more forms of pronunciation. One strong form and one or more weak form. This phenomenon is termed as gradation. Which of the following aspect points to the direct method of teaching? It makes direct bond between thought and expression. Which method emphasizes linguistic competence and performance? Structural approach. A console refers to the control room of the language lab. Which of the following belongs to the category of functions word? Preposition. Which of the following words is a reciprocal pronoun? Each other. Which of the following words is a reciprocal pronoun? Each other. Which among the following is a trisyllabic word? Impatient. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate form of the verb. I dash a novel when I heard a knock at the door. I had been reading. So past perfect continuous and simple past usage. Which is the term introduced by Noam Chomsky to describe the actual use of language in concrete situation? Parole. Which of the which is the term introduced by Noam Chomsky to describe the actual use of language in concrete situation? Performance. Dash refers to a set of sounds in which the articulation of each is strongly influenced by the following vowels sound. Approximants. Who is the major exponent of the silent way, one of the constitutions of humanist approach? Caleb Gutterkow now. Caleb Getek now. Question number 99. Read the sentence to find if there is any grammatical error. So just like you can check the question. Which of the following words means about to happen or threatening? Imminent. Synonym. Benign. Choose the most effective word that nearly opposite in meaning to the word. Sodden. Arid. A qualified medical doctor who specializes in the treatment of disease of the eye. Oculist. Pick out the right word from the given words to fill the blank. Ritu made the dash error of asking more. Fatal. Which of the following sentence follows the right words order? Like the little peddler who has cooked no. Produce the correct sentence. So this jumbled order so that we can just discuss. This question can be easy. Okay, at least you can just keep in mind like the subject verb agreement. SVO pattern. Choose the correct exact meaning of the idiom to make stock of. To be scrupulous about. Scrupulous about. Last question. Complete the following sentence by filling a or an or the as may be suitable. Sarang stays bed till 9 every morning. No article. So this question paper I have taken directly from the Google, and I have got it from ACE, like the PSC Institute. So like the marked answers are given by the ACE Institute. All right. So just for familiarizing the previous question paper, that is the reason why I made it. Thank you.